So let's talk about power heads. Here we've got a little power head from Hygger. I'm going to show you what they do and why we would use a power head in our aquarium. I use power heads in basically all of my aquarium systems, and they are essentially a way of getting extra flow into your tanks without necessarily upgrading the power of your filtration system. In a regular aquarium like this, you will have typically a filter. Now on this tank we've got an external canister filter, an FX2 aquarium filter, and it blasts out of this output here, and you can see that it's creating a flow that way. But when it gets to the middle of the tank, although this bit of macroalgae isn't really helping, but when it gets to the middle of the tank there's kind of like no flow. So what we want to do is have a way of adding flow to this tank without having to upgrade this or maybe move our bits around to create that circular flow. You can see on the other end we've got things moving, and that's because on this end I've added a power head. Power heads come in a lot of shapes, sizes, variety of things that they can do, and this one is pretty fancy. We have got nice coloured red fins. You don't really see that very often. It's not really important what colour they are, but I think it looks cool. It's also magnetised, and that's one of my favourite ways of adding a power head to your aquarium. The reason being is we don't need a suction cup for this one. It'll magnet from one side of your glass to another. The other option is using suction cups, but the problem with those is over time they can just fall off your glass and you end up getting your sand blown everywhere. This one as well has a controller unit, so we can see there we've got 4 different settings, and those hieroglyphs there is basically the wave pattern that your power head will create, along with a power up and down button. It's quite a slim profile power head as well, but I'm going to show you another one which has slightly different features. So if we look at this power head, this is also by Hygger, you can see it's a little bit longer. It also has a bracket on it though, a swivel bracket, which I don't actually use, but it is there should I wish to, which allows you to orient this power head kind of in the direction you want, whereas the one that I have on my desk doesn't have that feature. It's just unidirectional. This also features a controller with a little bit more extra features. So we can see this one is a pretty slim profile power head, but is lacking that directional ability, and the controller is a bit more basic. But to be honest, that makes this a bit easier to use and a bit easier to put into your aquarium. Probably suitable for smaller tanks rather than large ones. That being said though, it does say that this is suitable for up to 450 litres. It does have this in the box, which is apparently there to go over your power head to protect baby fish. It's not something that I'm going to use, but it is there should you wish. I'm not really sure how that's going to stop baby fish getting into the power head, but I guess it means small fish rather than baby fish, because baby fish are definitely going through there. In terms of cable length, it's pretty extreme. There is a lot of cable in here. You could probably plug it in to a socket in the next room and still be able to reach your aquarium, which is nice. It means it's not tight. I got it running in my Fluval shaker tank because that's where I've identified I need more flow. You can see immediately there is a huge amount of extra flow in this tank. The anemone that wasn't really moving around is now fully moving around. We've got flow onto these macroalgae at the bottom, and I'm actually really impressed. Features wise on the controller, as I've said, they're pretty basic. We've got our 4 different settings. We do also have a feed mode, so if we hold that in, puts it onto feed, and it turns the power head off. I'm assuming for like 9 minutes because it's got 9 written there, but I might be wrong. Straight away, look, there's no flow on that anemone. So I'm going to turn it back on by holding the button in, and then it resumes its operation. And this is not even on full power. Let's turn it up to full power, which is 10. And wow, possibly this is too much power, I don't know. You can see this little power head's kicking out way more flow than you would expect, which is a really cool thing. Small, low profile, but extremely powerful.